Hey y'all, it's Cindy Tauchar with Around the Town in the South, and I have a big treat today. I'm here with Lyle Wynn, who is a blacksmith, and we are at the Mississippi Craftsmen's Guild, and he's actually making something while we're doing this to show us. But thanks for talking to me today. And now tell me, how did you get started with blacksmith? Because I don't think I've ever met a blacksmith. I think I've just seen it on TV.
Well, about 21 years ago, my uncle asked me if I wanted my grandfather's blacksmith tools. And I told him, yeah, and he brought them to me. And I wanted to learn how to use them, so I joined the Mississippi Forge Council. And that's a local forge blacksmithing group that meets once a month. And I joined in with those guys and started learning as much as I could, but it's really a hard way to learn a hobby when you only meet once a month. But that's how I got started. I actually had the tools. My grandfather was a blacksmith in Brandon, and after he had passed away, my uncle had them, and he gave them to me.
And so you just started doing it. Well, obviously that wasn't what you were doing as a career at the time.
Right.
It was more of a hobby at that point, huh?
That's the way most blacksmiths get started, and there's not that many full time. And I teach and make items for people, and I've been doing it since 2011 full time.
Wow. And I wanted to mention, we're at the Craftsman's Guild. He has his own little building out here. I walked in to ask for him, and they said he's outside, and I said, I said, he gets his own little building, and they said, no, we make him stay out there. But it's really cool if you come to the Craftsman's Guild, which we are going to do a story on that too, so we're not going to go too much into that, but he has a little shop out here, and you're here.
A good bit. I'll be doing a class this weekend in Hernando, and I was in Iowa 2 weekends ago. Pardon me. I demonstrated for a conference up there. And then this past weekend, we had our annual conference at the Ag Museum. So I'm here a good bit, but I'm not always here.
But if you can catch him here, you're doing
that
demonstrations.
white truck sitting in front of the blacksmith shop.
You see the white truck in front of the blacksmith shop, which is right between the road and the actual Craftsman's Guild. But now tell me, you've been a member of the Craftsman's Guild for a long time.
Well, 11 years. 11
years, and it's not easy. It's not something you just join. You have to be, there's a whole process.
Well, you have to be juried in, and they have a class usually prior to the jury so that you can go through and learn more about what you need to do to get in. But, you know, we want people that are real good in their craft and to represent Mississippi with the Craftsman Guild. So there is a jury process, and sometimes you don't get in the first time, but
and you have to be re-voted in.
Juried in every 3 years for 3 times, and then you become a fellow member.
Okay, and you're at that point.
Right.
So you're in for good.
Yeah. As long as I still have to. You know, some of the requirements are you demonstrate once a year to stay in good standings, and it's just, you know, it's not that big a deal, but you can come demonstrate. We want demonstrators. It's nice to have people out here. It helps bring more customers in for the gallery that we have inside.
Right. Now, you were, you're also in the Mississippi Forge Council. That you said you started going to that, but now you're really involved in that.
Yeah, I do a lot with them. They're a great group of guys. They're scattered all over. And this conference we had people from Louisiana. Our demonstrator was actually from Texas, and we had people from Texas, Louisiana, all of North Mississippi. We had about 30 or 40 people that showed up, and we had a great time. Learned a lot.
That's neat. And you were on a reality show a few years ago on the History Channel. There's a reality show called Forged in Fire.
Right.
And you were a participant on that. And tell me what exactly, because now you aren't making like cute little wall hanging that kind of thing. You actually make things that are functional that you can use.
Right. On Forge and Fire, it's weapons.
Weapons.
And I actually had to make a bayonet to go on the end of a rifle when I did the competition there. And then if you didn't lose out while you were there, then you got to do a home challenge. And they give you, back then they gave you 5 days. So you had 45 hours to make it, and I had to make something called a Zulu Ikawa. And
What is that?
it was a short spear. And I actually hardened mine hard on purpose on the end because I thought they were going to test it by stabbing, but they actually drove it to a block of wood and bent it over, and the tip broke off.
Oh.
But it was great. I have no regrets. It was a great experience. If they asked me to do it again, I'd do it again.
That's so much fun. And you can probably find that.
Yeah, it was season 3, episode 10 is the one I was on.
That's so neat to get to do something like that. Now, he was telling me he's got the fire going over here, which I'm going to tell you, that would be my first obstacle, is just getting a fire going.
Yeah.
So how hot is this?
Well, when you have the air going and you see the hottest colors in that fire, it's over 3,000 degrees. And steel melts at 2,800 degrees. So if you're not paying attention, you'll actually burn the end of your steel off.
So you've got to keep it in that little window.
Well, you've got a pretty good sized window with mild steel. You can go anywhere from about 1,400 degrees up to 2,200 is your forging range that where the metal moves. The hotter it is, the easier it moves. So the better the metal, the hotter you want to maintain it so it moves easier, but you don't want to burn it up.
Well, I was watching, he's been doing a little bit here. He's going to do a little bit more to show you. But, I mean, you've got to be in shape to do this.
Well, you have to learn to deal with the heat.
So much.
Everything in blacksmithing is heavy, and you do it around the fire. So in the middle of summer, you've got to have air moving on you, especially in the humidity that we have here. So I have 4 fans that I usually have going when I'm working with a student. And as long as you've got a good bit of air moving, it's not that bad.
Well, show us how you are doing this. Now, let me ask you, because you've got your I'm going to call that a hammer.
Right. It's called a rounding hammer. It's
okay.
one we make routinely in the class.
Okay. But you actually use that.
Right.
That's what you teach people to
round
make.
on one side and flat on the other. So by using the round face, you can move metal much more efficiently because it lowers the surface area and you get more pounds per square inch out of every blow.
Okay.
But then when you come back and plane it, you use your big die, and that smooths all your hammer marks out. But this is this would be a ring, a leaf ring. And what I just did was flatten it down, and now this would put the veins in it. And this is something called a fuller. So what this does is it just pushes metal out of the way so you don't see it. And what you don't touch is actually what produces the veins on this leaf. Just then I put the center vein. Let me do the sides real quick. Let's see if you can see it on there.
Okay. We'll have to hold it up closer to the camera because we are kind of far away. But there's so many elements going on here to do this.
All right, now I'm going to do the veins. And like I was saying, I'm actually pushing metal out of the way so you don't see it. And that way what's left on the surface is what makes the veins of this leaf. So we'll get this moved around just a little bit more. And one more heat, then I'll be able to show you.
So now when people come to do classes, I mean, do you do one-on-one classes or do you only do the group classes?
I do a lot of one-on-one classes. I have people come from all over. I've had 3 from Australia.
Wow.
Had them from Mexico, Canada, England, France. They come from all over to learn to make these hammers. And and all the tools you need to make hammers with. Now I'm going to put some shape into this leaf real quick, and then you can really see. I'm just going to turn it upside down and set it on this block of wood, And this is what'll shape that
Ooh, and it's catching on fire.
leaf. Alright. Oh, don't be a girl. Alright.
It just comes naturally to be a girl.
Good. Let me brush this a little bit. And now you can see the
Oh my
leaf.
gosh, that is so cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, see if
It might not focus on it very good.
yeah, I mean look at the detail in that just from him sitting there hammering on it. But yeah, that is so neat. And I love, but what I really love is that you're telling me people are coming from other countries even to come here
Yeah.
and see you. And that's one thing that I really want to stress to people who do live in the area. If you're in the Mississippi area, if you're driving distance to Jackson, I mean, we've got this great Craftsman's Guild right here. And I mean, this is only one of the crafts. And there's like people coming from other countries to see what we have right here in Jackson, Mississippi, which is really cool.
Yeah, there are some incredible craftsmen that belong to this organization, and it stands out when you go in and look at all the items in the gallery. I'm just rounding this up, and this will be.
It's just amazing that you can just move it around and hammer and it goes into shape.
Well, next step I'm going to have to go a little smaller here, and the next step would be to wrap it around and make the final ring. So I'll do that.
So that turns into a ring, which is not normally what you make. I have seen pictures of, I saw some really cool pins you made,
Yeah.
shawl pins.
I enjoy
But-
making rings. I enjoy making jewelry. I make it out of silver, copper. I did one in gold when I did a class in Alaska with Brian Brazil. But rings are a lot of fun to make, and they're really beautiful. I enjoy making the jewelry. But now that's not how. In order to sustain yourself, the teaching is what you really have to do.
Right, and the tools, and a lot of the tools that you teach people to make are tools that they need to be able to do this craft, right?
Right.
Okay.
By learning to make the tools, there's different avenues in blacksmithing you can take to do. There's bunches of different types of blacksmithing, but all of them require tools. So by learning the tools first, that gives a person learning the opportunity to do any part they want to do in blacksmithing.
That's so neat. Well, I just really appreciate you. And while you're kind of fishing that up, I do want to go ahead and say thank you to our sponsors today too. This is so much fun. I love doing this kind of stuff, and I love like local artists, and I know you're more of a craftsman than an artist, but I just love seeing people be able to be creative and use their skills to do things like this. But I do want to thank my sponsors. The first one is Skyhawks Sports Camp. If you've got any little ones this summer that you're trying to find activities for, my grandson loves going to Skyhawks Sports Camps. I've got their information here. You can see, you can go see which camps are available this summer, and they're so much fun. Also, Pure Air Consultants. They take care of your air conditioner. If your air conditioner breaks at this point forward for the summer, you're in trouble. So it's a good thing to go ahead and get them to come look at it and get it ready to go for the summer. But if it breaks, call them for that too. And also Chaney Day Parade Photography. She is a very talented photographer. If you want to get pictures of your kids, grandkids, maternity photos, she can do any of that. Headshots, professional headshots. She's very talented. Chaney Day Parade, Karri Chaney. And so is that almost, it's kind of like curling up.
I just
You did that?
started bending it. That'll actually, I've got to roll it up to make the ring. So I'll get that done in a moment.
So it just gets really hot. Okay, so he's gonna finish that up. I'm gonna put when he finishes, I'm gonna put a picture of it
All right.
close up on. But thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
being here with
Thank
me
you.
today. And y'all, be sure and share this with your friends and come out to the Craftsman's Guild. And there's some classes this summer. Look those up if you're interested in this kind of thing. This is like
June we're gonna have.
In
There's
June?
a bunch of classes in June.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do a story on the Craftsman's Guild, and we're gonna talk more about the other classes. But this is one of them. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you around the town.